Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you. I'm Neha Bhardwaj Alter and this is Game On. This is where you get all the latest from the world of sports, and there's so much that has happened over the weekend. We are going to get you all of that. We are also going to be looking ahead to what you can expect in the week. So let's get straight into it, and we've got to begin with cricket, because after that 0-3 loss to New Zealand at home, the Indian team is under pressure to do well in the upcoming Border-Gavaskar Trophy that starts on the 22nd of November in Perth. Indian coach Gautam Gambhir, he addressed the media before leaving for that 5-match series, and he was asked a plethora of questions about the senior players being out of form, about Rohit Sharma missing his first test match, about how Indian players are overcoming the heartbreak of losing to New Zealand at home, and much, much more. Gambhir was also asked about the World Test Championship and whether he thinks India can make it to the finals. We'll take you through all the biggest news points to have come out of that press conference. Number one, the first question that was asked and that everybody wanted to know was, will Rohit Sharma play the first test? And there is still mystery around it. To this, Gautam Gambhir said, and I quote, "There is no confirmation as of now. Hopefully he will play. We will let you know before the series." Now, there are reports that are suggesting that Rohit Sharma, in fact, will not be leaving for Australia, and that he is on paternity leave at the moment, and in all probability will miss out on that first test match in Perth. Now, in case Rohit does miss that first test match, who will open for India? That has been a huge conundrum for the Indian team management. To this, Gautam Gambhir said, when he was asked this question, he said, "We have Abhimanyu Easwaran and KL Rahul in the squad. So we will play the best 11 and take the call before the first test." He was all praise for KL Rahul and said that we should be appreciative of a batter like him, a player like him, who can bat in the middle order at number 6 and also can open the batting. And in all likelihood, I mean, there was this, the way he was talking about KL Rahul, it felt like KL Rahul, in fact, could be the one who would get that opener spot in the first test in case Rohit Sharma misses that Perth test. Now, Gambhir was also asked about Indian team's dismal performance against New Zealand. Of course, that was one topic we were all waiting for. What would he say about, where India went wrong? This is what he had to say. He said, and I quote, "Obviously, the learning is that we accept that we were outplayed. I'm not going to sit here and defend. I think we were outplayed in all 3 departments. They were more professional and we accept that. I think the criticism we are receiving, we take it with both hands and we keep moving forward and keep getting better every day." Now, Gautam Gambhir has also been under fire since that India's loss to New Zealand, with reports suggesting that he was called along with Ajit Agarkar by the BCCI to give a report on what went wrong. To this, he said, "What difference does social media make in my life and for anyone's life? When I took up this job, I always knew that it was going to be a highly difficult job and a highly prestigious job as well. I don't think as if I'm feeling the heat, because my job is to be absolutely honest. There are some incredibly tough people in that dressing room who have achieved some great things for the country and will continue to achieve some great things for the country. So it's an absolute honor to be coaching them and coaching India." Now, the other burning question that people want answers to is the form of Kohli and Rohit Sharma. They've had a series to forget against New Zealand. It hasn't been a good season for them. In fact, Ricky Ponting has spoken about how both of them have been out of form and have not scored as many runs. They tallied just 93 and 91 runs respectively from 6 innings at 36 and 37. Kohli and Rohit, I mean, they clearly have more cricket behind them than in front, but Gambhir was not worried about them at all. He was asked about that Ricky Ponting statement, where Ricky Ponting had said about them that how, despite scoring just 2-3 centuries in the last 5 years, anybody else would have been dropped, but these two were not dropped. And Gautam Gambhir was fuming in the press conference. He said, when he was asked whether he was worried about their form, he said, "Not at all. Ricky Ponting should think about Australian cricket. What concerns does he have for Indian cricket? Virat and Rohit are incredibly tough men. They've achieved a lot for Indian cricket and they will continue to achieve a lot. They still work really hard. They're still passionate. They still want to achieve a lot more. And that is something which is very important. The hunger in that dressing room is incredibly important for me and for the entire group of people as well in that dressing room. I feel there's a lot of hunger, especially after what has happened in the series. So those were some of the important talking points from that press conference by Gautam Gambhir. Now, Team India's first batch left for Australia on Sunday night from the Mumbai airport for the Border-Gavaskar Trophy, almost 12 days ahead of the first test to be played in Perth on November 22nd. The Indian team is leaving for Australia in two batches. The first batch included speedsters Mohammad Siraj, Akashdeep. There was the assistant coach Abhishek Nair, all-rounder Washington Sundar. He was part of that first batch. And the middle order batter Sarfaraz Khan. He was also in that group of players leaving for Australia. This was on Sunday night. And then there was Yashasvi Jaiswal. The remaining players and the members of the support staff will be leaving today. It seems like Rohit Sharma will not be travelling, like I've been telling you with the side. There were suggestions that he might, but now reports say that he will not be travelling to Australia. Meanwhile, Virat Kohli, he was the first to reach Perth. He left with his wife Anushka Sharma and their two children Vamika and Akai earlier, and they arrived in Australia on Sunday evening. In case now Rohit Sharma is not available, Gautam Gambhir has said Jasprit Bumrah will captain India and KL Rahul will be a potential replacement for the opener. The reports coming out of Australia say India will begin training at the WACA ground from Tuesday ahead of the first test, but the venue, we're being told now from these reports, is on a lockdown in a bid to keep the Indian team strictly behind closed doors. There was a 3-day match against India A that was scheduled earlier, but that was scrapped over injury concerns. All right, what about the other team, our limited overs cricket team? They're playing in South Africa, and after winning the first T20I against South Africa, India tasted defeat in the second T20I at St. George's Park in Abeha on Sunday. It turned out to be an absolute humdinger as the hosts stumbled in what seemed like a straightforward run chase at the beginning. India had been restricted to a below par 124 by South Africa, and in reply, Ryan Rickleton and Reza Hendricks went all guns blazing to take them to 22 for no loss in 2.4 overs. Arshdeep Singh then, he drew the first blood, dismissing Rickleton. Then came Varun Chakravarti, who first got the skipper Aiden Markram sent back for 3 in the final over of the power play. The magic then continued from the mystery spinner as Hendricks misread his googly to be out for 23. Varun was far from done. Marco Jansen was the next scalp. Then there was Heinrich Klaassen and David Miller. All perished to Chakravarti's stroke of genius. The game slowly slipped out of South Africa's grasp after Ravi Bishnoi castled Andile Simileni to leave the host tottering at 88 for 7. With 4 overs left and 37 still to get, Kwitsia and Tristan Stubbs, they took it upon themselves to see off the run chase. The duo hit Avesh Khan for 12 in the 18th over. An equation came down to 13 that were needed in the last 2 overs, and Stubbs showed his class and his reach as he started the over with 2 fours and ended in style with an over to spare. He ended the match unbeaten with 47 of 41 deliveries. Earlier in the match, the visitors were reduced to 5 for 2 in 1.5 overs as Jansen and Kutsia got rid of openers Sanju Samson and Abhishek Sharma. Sanju Samson got out for a duck. Suryakumar Yadav was the next to go, continuing his hit and miss here in T20Is. India were 15 for 3 at one point in 4 overs. Tilak Verma and Akshar Patel, then they tried to steer India through the power play, but that partnership was cut short at 30 runs. Hardik Pandya, he tried to bail India out of trouble with 39 not out as the visitors kept losing wickets at regular intervals, unable to forge a big partnership. All right, let's move on to football. Chelsea and Arsenal both missed the opportunity to make up ground on Premier League leaders Liverpool after ending with a draw at Stamford Bridge. The star for Chelsea was Pedro Neto, who fired home the equaliser for the Blues, who are now level with Arsenal on 19 points, 9 less than leaders Liverpool. Arsenal are now with a win in their last 5 games. Now without a win in their last 5 games in all competitions. However, it was the Gunners who opened the scoring with Gabriel Martinelli in the 60th minute as he drilled one past Blues keeper Robert Sanchez from a neat pass from captain Martin Odegaard. Chelsea equalised 10 minutes later when substitute Enzo Fernandez pushed the ball to the ever-lively Pedro Neto just outside the Arsenal area, and the Portuguese stepped to one side and shot low to David Raya's left. England winger Bukayo Saka. This is some bad news for them, for Mikel Arteta. Bukayo Saka limped off late with an injury as both sides strive to create a winning chance. Arsenal came closest, but Leandro Trossard was unable to divert William Saliba's cross into the net from 6 yards, a second before the referee blew for full time. Mikel Arteta, the manager, was able to start captain Odegaard for the first time in 2 months after his return from an ankle injury, and as he grew into the game, he had a big influence on the Arsenal midfield. Arsenal have struggled in recent weeks, and with Odegaard back in the side from the beginning, the build-up play from the back was much improved. This was always going to be a very important game for Arsenal, given Liverpool had won over Aston Villa, putting them on top with 28 points. And Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has 2 new worries now to add to what he describes as a nightmare run of injuries after Bukayo Saka and Declan Rice both failed to finish the 1-1 draw with Chelsea.
It doesn't look good because 2 players of that importance to tell you that they cannot continue in the game, obviously is not good news. Well, disappointed with the results because I think we deserve more, and at the same time very proud about the team. The way we played here against this opponent in this stadium, they have battered every opponent here, and obviously it wasn't the case today. But after doing the most difficult thing, scoring the first goal, very disappointed how we conceded the goal. Nowhere near the standards, our defensive habits, how we allow that, and the moment you allow the space and time to any of their players with the quality that they have, you're going to get punished. So that's not bad luck. But then the team shows its teeth. You know, how much they wanted, they took risks, full determination, put Chelsea under every problem, were very aggressive, we created 3 big chances. And unfortunately, we weren't able to put the ball in the net to win it, but I think the team deserved it.
It's nice, especially for the fans, after the last period, that has not been great or in the way this club used to do that. So we are happy. Now we have international break. We can recover energy, and then we are back. When we come back, we go again. But for sure, it's something nice. I think the performance was good. We playing the way we want to play, on the ball and off the ball. The game for some moment was open. Anything can happen in both sides. But for sure, 100% at least we deserve the point, and this is important.
And things just keep getting better for Manchester United. Finally, Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandez backed 1 goal and created 2 more in his team's spirited 3-0 Premier League victory over Leicester City on Sunday. A victorious send-off for Ruud van Nistelrooy in his finale as the interim manager. United, who've had 3 wins and a draw across all competitions since manager Erik ten Hag was fired on 28th of October and replaced temporarily with Van Nistelrooy, are 13th in the league table on 15 points, 4 points adrift of the top 3. Leicester are 15th on 10 points. Now, Fernandez, who went his last 17 games under Ten Hag without scoring, celebrated his 250th appearance for United with a goal in the 17th minute, latching on to a backheel pass from Amad Diallo before unleashing a low hard shot into the far corner. It was the skipper's 4th goal in 4 games for Van Nistelrooy. Leicester defender Victor Christensen, he was credited with United's goal in the 38th minute when Fernandez missed an intended header and the ball pinged off his thigh before deflecting off Christensen and in. Alejandro Garnacho netted United's third in the 82nd minute when Fernandez spotted him on the left, and the Argentinian sent a curling shot from just outside the 18-yard box into the top corner. The 20-year-old looked emotionless after bagging his third league goal of the season. Fans at Old Trafford sang Van Nistelrooy's name throughout the game's final few minutes. Ten Hag's permanent replacement, Ruben Amorim, arrives on Monday, which is today, from Sporting, with his first game as United boss scheduled for November 24th at Ipswich Town. Van Nistelrooy's future with United still to be determined, although the team's former striker has said he wants to remain on the staff. All right, from Premier League, let's move on to La Liga, and Barcelona suffered a shock 1-0 La Liga defeat at Real Sociedad on Sunday that ended their 7-match winning streak in all competitions as Geraldo Becker. He scored for the Basque side in the first half. Leaders Barcelona got their first taste of defeat in over a month and only their second in their domestic season after they were dominated throughout the match by the home side, who wasted several chances. Becker's strike in the 33rd minute was enough to secure Real Sociedad the win as he beat the offside trap to race on to a Luka Sucic header before slotting a tidy finish just inside the post. Barcelona still lead the standings on 33 points, 6 ahead of Real Madrid, who have a game in hand in second place, while Atletico Madrid are third on 26 points. Real Sociedad are 8th on 18 points. Barca did seem lost without Lamine Yamal. He was ruled out due to a contusion. His replacement, Fermin Lopez, had nowhere the impact that Le Mans had on the side this season. Barcelona manager Hansi Flick offered no excuses for his side's poor showing that ended their 7-match winning streak in all competitions. Flick praised their opponent's performance and said Barca had to move on. Now, Flick's side are still on top of La Liga on 33 points, 6 ahead of Real, like I said. But Barca have scored in every single match they played until Sunday, but finished the game at San Sebastian with no shots on target, and that is a problem for them going forward. Real Sociedad created several chances and they could have won by a wider margin following a series of bad mistakes by an erratic Barca defense, something that Flick thinks that they will have to improve on. AS Roma have sacked coach Ivan Juric. The Serie A club said this on Sunday. They've announced it as the Croatian became the capital side's second coach to be fired this season. I mean, Roma lost 3-2 at home against Bologna on Sunday, their fourth loss in the last 5 league games, leaving them 12th in the standings. Roma appointed Juric in September after sacking Daniele De Rossi to become their third coach in the span of 8 months. Juric, formerly he was a coach at Torino, Hellas Verona and Genoa, started off with consecutive home wins against Udinese and Venezia in the league, either side of the 1-1 draw against Athletic Bilbao in the Europa League. His good run, however, ended there, and Roma won only once in their next 6 league games. Former world heavyweight champion Mike Tyson and YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul will fight in Arlington, Texas on Friday. Now 58, Tyson will step into the ring at the 80,000-seat AT&T Stadium against a man 31 years his younger, but with only 10 professional fights to his name. He is denied that money is the motivation behind his return to the ring, saying he's just doing it for himself. Iron Mike, as he's called, who has a 50-6 record with 44 knockouts, was one of the most feared heavyweights in history, but has not fought a professional fight since 2005. Paul has a 9-1 record. The heavyweight bout at the home of the NFL's Dallas Cowboys will be contested over 8 2-minute rounds, with each fighter using 14-ounce gloves. The outcome will be included in both fighters' professional boxing records. Now, British promoter Eddie Hearn last month he dismissed the bout. He said that this was dangerous, irresponsible and disrespectful to boxing and said he would not be watching it. This is what he had said: "You only need to speak to him and look at him. to know that this guy should not be in a ring again. Everybody loves a dollar bill, including me, but sometimes the green-eyed monster can make you take some bad decisions, and I think this is one of them. This is Hearn talking about Tyson. Tyson, in 1997, he was stripped of his license after infamously sinking his teeth into Evander Holyfield's ear. He disagreed with Hearn's opinion. Tyson was also convicted of rape in 1992 while maintaining his innocence and said things had changed for the better in his life, but that still did not make him a nice man.
Well, that's Eddie's opinion, and that's all I can say. I'm just doing really well. You know, I'm doing really well. I'm very grateful that I'm doing well. I'm just looking forward to the fight. Really looking forward to it. Like when you think about, regardless of me being how old I am, this guy only has 10 fights.
Yeah.
He only has 10 fights. If I can just fight a little bit with my experience, he only has 10 fucking fights. Okay? If I could just fight 10% of what I was, he only has 10 fights. He couldn't match that.
Yeah.
Okay, time for us to wrap this show up. But next time someone tells you, oh, I cannot run because I'm old, you've got to show this story to them. At 88, Prutaroch Porliakas, he proved that age is no barrier to determination. He completed the 41st edition of the authentic Marathon of Athens in 6 hours and 31 minutes. Inspired by his son, an ultra-marathoner, he took up running in his hometown of Kastoria in northern Greece at the age of 73. This marks his 12th time competing the iconic 42.195 kilometer race from the tomb of Marathon to the Panathinaikos Stadium. And he was cheered by his family and friends. He completed the race 18 minutes faster than last year. That's a huge improvement. His training routine includes running 4 to 5 kilometers daily and up to 20 kilometers on weekends. He does not drink and smoke. He doesn't indulge in excesses and eats a healthy, balanced diet and believes everyone can do this if they really want to. And on that positive and inspirational note, where you don't give up just because you think you're too old, I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks for watching.
How do you fulfill that promise? Because ultimately expectations have to be met. If you look at the political landscape, is it really changing for women? And what is the inability of the forces that dead bodies surface, but not the living people?
Gangster Lawrence Bishnoi, lodged in Gujarat's Sabarmati jail, has vowed to murder actor Salman Khan. Born in a clan that reveres animals, Khan has invited Bishnoi's wrath for killing a black buck in October 1998. The Bishnoi tribe reside in Rajasthan's Jodhpur region. They have built a statue of a black buck in the Kankani hamlet. It is a tribute to the animal Bishnois consider sacred. Salman Khan was convicted of poaching a black buck in 2018. To find out what the villagers think of Lawrence Bishnoi and his threats against the popular actor, we visited Kankani, home to the Bishnois.
सलमान से दुश्मनी थोड़ी थी कि सलमान क्यों फंसा जाए। हमारे कोई पैसा की लालच नहीं, कोई हमारे समाज के लिए एक पैसा भी नहीं है। हम क्यों बोलेंगे? सलमान हिरण को मारा है जब हम बोल रहे हैं। सलमान को हमारे क्या दुश्मनी नहीं मारी है। अभी उसने, मैं तो कहा मार दिया और आपने मारा है पक्का। आप हमारे से माफ़ी मांग लो। विष्णु समाज को मैंने गुरु महाराज के चरणा में, और मैंने गलती कर दी, नहीं मारा तो तुम भाई दोषी है तो फिर ही हो जाएगा।
सलमान खान ने हिरण की हत्या की थी। हम इसको जिस तरीके से आदमी का हम जब मर्डर बोलते हैं ना, उसी प्रकार हम कहते हैं कि हिरण की भी हमारी हत्या हुई है। और ये वही स्थान है। आपने अभी ऊपर स्टेचू भी देखा हमने, जो कृष्ण मृग का बना रखा है। हमारा जो समाज है उसका सलमान खान से क्या सरोकार है? कोई मतलब ही नहीं है। दूसरे भी एक्टर है, आमिर खान है, शाहरुख खान है, अक्षय कुमार, हम दूसरों का नाम तो नहीं लेते हैं। अगर उसने हिरण नहीं मारा होता तो हम जिस प्रकार दूसरों का नाम नहीं लेते, उसका भी नाम नहीं लेते।
सलमान खान अगर माफ़ी मांग ले तो हो सकता है समाज उसको माफ़ कर ले। तो माफ़ी मांगने में क्या तकलीफ है? भगवान के आगे अगर हम मस्तक होते हैं तो आपका कद बढ़ता है, घटता नहीं है। तो मैं तो बोलता हूँ लॉरेंस ठीक बोल रहा है, उसको माफ़ी मांगनी चाहिए। अगर उसका बाप बोलता है कि शिकार सिद्ध हो जाएगा, तो शिकार तो सिद्ध हो चुका है, कोर्ट उसको सजा बोल चुका है, फिर भी वो बाहर घूम रहा है।
The Bishnois are known for their commitment to conserving the Thar Desert's biodiversity and zealously defending its flora and fauna. Legend has it that Guru Maharaj Jambaji established the faith in Jodhpur in 1485 AD.
हमारा जो विष्णु समाज है, इसकी संस्थापना गुरु जंबेश्वर भगवान ने की थी, आज से लगभग 550 साल पहले। तो आप तब से अगर देखेंगे ना, उस टाइम ग्लोबल वार्मिंग, ये जो पर्यावरण परिवर्तन जितना हो रहा है, इन सब के बारे में किसी ने कल्पना तक नहीं की थी। लेकिन हमारे जो गुरु जंबेश्वर भगवान, जिन्होंने 29 नियम दिए, उन्होंने आज से 550 साल पहले हिरण का, पेड़ पौधों का, और इसलिए हिरण जो है वो हमारा एक, हम उसको है ना एक आइडियल मानते हैं और उसकी हम पूजा करते हो। हमारे ना गुरु जंबेश्वर भगवान ने उसका उपदेश भी दिया है, और उसके नाम पर हम साथ ही साथ में सभी जीवों की हम रक्षा करते हैं।
Residents of the hamlet say they will forgive Lawrence Bishnoi if he apologizes to the members of the community. They say Bishnoi is one of their own. Some of them go on to say Bishnoi was falsely implicated in several cases. The Bishnoi gang, which shot to the spotlight after the murder of singer Sidhu Moosewala in 2022, again made headlines after the firing incident outside Salman Khan's Mumbai house in April 2024. The gang is also being probed for the murder of politician Baba Siddiqui.
जैसे ना अपने परिवार में होता ना, किसी का मान लो हत्या हो गई, उसको अगर न्याय नहीं मिला तो सभी लोग उसके लिए जब तक उसको जस्टिस नहीं मिले तब तक हमेशा प्रयास करते रहते हैं। वही प्रयास हमारी तरफ से लॉरेंस कर रहा, हमारा पूरा समाज कर रहा साहब। और लॉरेंस को जब ये पता चला, और शायद मेरे को जहाँ तक पता है